Hi, Matt here with another market analysis video, and I like to start out with the crypto total market cap. And I've been talking about a pullback for a couple weeks now, and it's funny that we start to get a pullback in the crypto total market cap. Crypto starts to dip, and instead of a lot of people talking about buying it, they get scared. Oh, where's crypto going? I've heard Bitcoin 60,000. Just, crazy stuff. Could have happened, over many months, probably in 2027. Yeah. But is this just going to crash? No, I don't think so. I feel that we're in a bullish movement. Yeah, you're going to have pullbacks. That's normal. That happens. It's just part of markets. Markets need to go up, but also go down and then continue up. Just like over here, you had price come up here, and then this pullback it looks small on this chart, but it was a decent sized pullback. Once it hit this top, this pullback was a very large move down, and then it moved up again, and then that's when you got a massive move down. If we look over here, you really didn't have much of a pullback. Right here was actually pretty large, and this right here was a nice pullback. Right here was a nice one. Right here was a nice one. So you're going to have moves up and moves down. So very, very interesting. So watching this, I think I've talked about 4 to 8 trillion is kind of my mark. I moved it to 6 to 8 trillion because we're almost already to 4. I think price definitely pushes through that. So I'm at 6 to 8 trillion as an overall market cap for the end of the bull run. Could it be a little higher? Of course it could. I'm not in the business of making crazy predictions. I'm in the business of making predictions, but being on the right side of the trade. I would rather make money on the trade than get my analysis right. To me, analysis is just something you do, but really the trade is what matters most. Did you make money or did you not make money? That's what's most important. So when I do these videos, I really am just trying to analyze the market the best that I can, so that way I can make the trades that matter. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance and maybe jump down to a daily chart. All right, and Bitcoin dominance. So you can see go to my last videos. I talked about this when it did break down. It did break out of this channel. I talked about it coming back up and then being able to maybe come down again or go sideways. And going sideways just means that sideways. So it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, up, and then it's going to break. So right now it's a little bit ugly. This move up looks very good. It came up a little bit more than what I would be looking for, but it's still within the realm of sideways movement. Looks okay. It's come down a little bit. Let's see if it holds somewhere around here. Maybe comes up, comes down sideways, and then it starts to move down. I think that would make sense. And that's what I would be looking for if I was really trying to trade off of this chart, which I don't trade off of, but it's a guide. And that's really what most things should be, is a guide. This will show me where I should expect things to transpire. So that's what I would be looking for. I do want to go to ETH BTC next. So I do feel that it is an interesting chart. Don't pay too much attention to these lines. They're not really that well done. But let me go and delete them. Okay. And what could I put on here? Okay, that's about it. And zooming in, I do want to look at this because this is kind of interesting. This move down here was definitely looking like the end of something. Now you're getting a higher low here, which is very interesting as well. And getting a move up, you'd want to see this thing start to take off if that is actually what's going to happen. Sideways in the Bitcoin dominance would allow some other markets to take over, and that would actually be Ethereum. Obviously there's other tokens as well, but Ethereum would be one of the proponents of strength. So I'm definitely watching this to see what would transpire. I think it's interesting, but there's something to keep an eye on. I do want to go over to the US dollar because everything's kind of correlated, and this is kind of how I'm watching the US dollar. I've been watching between 109.28 and 106.47, 106.64.7 is what I meant to say. Some resistance there, and we've got a massive sideways pattern, and now I'm looking for resistance up here, which would mean the dollar would need to roll over and start moving down. So that's kind of what I'm watching. This is a daily chart. Don't pay too much attention on the type of chart that it is, a daily chart, but this is a longer term pattern. So it took from July of 2023 until recently, today, tomorrow, next week, to make this high. So that's a long time. It's a long time. Have you stayed in a trade for that long of a period? Probably not. I don't know. I don't know you. But most people don't have that kind of patience. So this could roll over at any moment. Does it have to? No. But as per this pattern, I'm looking in the low 90s for price to eventually get down to. So taking a little while makes sense. It doesn't really matter. But I hear a lot of people say don't trade leverage ever, don't do this, don't do that. What you want to do is do everything towards your plan, right? So if there are certain times where you can leverage up, do it, but do it in an overall plan. But you also have to deleverage as per that plan, and you want to keep it a small portion of your portfolio. So that's my little rant on that. Let's go over to the VIX, and you can see that we got some volatility over here on the 18th, and it's just subsided very, very quickly. That's when the markets were starting to go lower. And if we go over here to the SPX, this is the 18th right here. So you had a massive move down. So this candle had a high of 6,070 and a low of 5,867. I'm taking off the decimals just to make it simple, but about a 200 point move. So that's going to cause the VIX to do something. You also are, the price is trying to move higher, and it's not looking super bearish, but it's not looking super bullish either. But can it turn into super bullish? Yeah, it can. Let's jump over here to the Nasdaq. It looks pretty much identical. You had a big move down here on the 18th, and now it's trying to push higher. So very interesting on that. If we jump down here to S&P futures, it's trying to move up. And then we go down here to the Nasdaq futures. You can see big doji. It's trying to move up. Cannot break up. If so, it should be today. If no, then it is what it is. Okay, let's go over to Bitcoin. And here is Bitcoin. Let's try to take off some things. All right, here is Bitcoin, and this is starting to look very interesting. It should be able to push up a little bit. This is going to be our resistance, a little higher. And if this does push up, because it has come down a lot actually, I was thinking if it's going to come this far down, a little bit lower would make sense. That did not happen. It actually held over this low. So if it gets resistance anywhere between 99.5 to 102.5, that would be something I'd be looking at. And then it should be able to roll back down. If it gets over 102.5 and keeps pushing and gets over 107 and 108.5, then this thing is going higher. How would you be able to determine that? Well, if it takes this out like a hot knife through butter, then there's a very good chance that it would continue. If it stumbles a little bit, has some trouble, gets some rejection, that's how you know it's probably just going to reject. So that's what I would be looking for right now with Bitcoin. I think it's very interesting. It definitely looks like it's going to push up from here, and that kind of coincides with the other charts that we looked at. Let's go to Ethereum. And Ethereum also has that vibe of pushing higher. Ethereum, I'm looking for a much larger move here. I feel that it can find resistance up here, but it also seems like it can push over 4K and into new highs. So it really just depends on what price does over the next few days, really this week. So the markets will be open at the end of this week here in the US. Crypto never closes, so it is what it is. But it kind of makes sense that they're going to try to push the market one way or the other, just because tomorrow being Christmas, there's going to be less liquidity in the markets. There's less liquidity now. There's going to be less liquidity tomorrow. There's not going to be much liquidity the rest of this week. So it's easier to push the markets around if you're like somebody like BlackRock or somebody like that with just a lot of money. It's easier to push the market around. So it makes sense to me. So that's what I am looking at, that possibility. We made some pretty good trades last week. We're in some really good trades right now that are really running. So that's a good thing. I'll talk about them once they're closed. That's pretty much my rule, is whenever we close the trades, I'll talk about them. But if we're currently in the trades, I don't really talk about them. Every now and then I'll share something, but usually not. You can see Solana is starting to push up as well, starting to look good. So it'll be a fun rest of the week. I do want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas. Hopefully you're getting to spend a lot of time with your friends and family, because that's what this time of year is all about, spending time with your loved ones and having fun. So with that, have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. Have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you back here in the markets. Take care.